Should we go for a ciggar? Little cigar? Go on then, let's go for a cigar.
Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Smokin Fegs and Havin Gegs with me, Ray the Queen.
And me, Queen Billie. I know you can't see us right now, but we are actually sat outside Jolene Bunton's house with a pride flag blasting Born This Way.
That'll show the cunt.
So we decided we were going to, I came up with the idea of wanting to do a podcast because I seen...
Excuse you, bitch, but it was me. It was my idea.
It wasn't.
It was.
I messaged you on night shift about it.
Right now.
So my friends had started a podcast, but whenever I first started my YouTube and I started doing drag, I wanted to do this YouTube series where I would have guests from Northern Ireland, drag queens, gay people, on the YouTube video. But then a couple of my friends started doing their own podcasts, and I thought it would be a good idea to actually do it this way.
Especially because recently the amount of fuckery that has gone on in the community between Jolene Bunton coming for Anya Bexner songs and that guy Ryan trying to molest me and Billie. I think we both just thought it would be a good idea to put out some positivity.
Yeah, and also there's been talk of I've heard a few people have been sexually assaulted, and I know that I was one of them, and Ray was technically part of that because Ray was there that night outside Boombox. But yeah, we just thought we would put a bit of positivity and a bit of light into our little small community in Belfast and talk a lot of shit, basically. Ray will probably light up about 100 fegs during this and you'll hear the lighter, so just ignore that.
I mean, it is Smokin Fegs and Havin Gegs, so I feel obliged to do so.
But the only thing I want to start with is a wee bit about ourselves. I am Queen Billie, if you're listening, and you know who I am. You know I'm a wee bit of a bitch, a wee bit of a cunt, aren't I?
Oh, that's really selling yourself there, Queen Billie, isn't it?
No, I work for the NHS, and I've stopped being doing drag for 2 years. It was actually my drag birthday on the 10th of June there, and yeah, we're just...
Oh my god, I walk in with a cake and candles and everything. Happy birthday.
And then, what about you, Ray? How long have you been doing drag? What do you do?
I have been doing drag since I was 14. But it's only after I turned 18 did I really start to focus. Before, it was just having a wee gig in my bedroom, doing my makeup and whatnot. But it was only after I turned 18 I started going out and things like that.
Yeah, it was the same for me though. I started it and it wasn't really it was a bit of fun during lockdown. It was just chilling out, something to do because you couldn't go and see people, but I still had to work. And then in October, when I first done my first performance, after then I've kind of taken it a bit more serious and doing a bit more with it. So yeah, it's really good, it's really enjoyable. But today's topic is Pride, because it is Pride Month, so
how could you not talk about Pride and Pride Month?
I know, there's no better way to start it off because there's so much to fucking talk about as well.
I know.
What does Pride mean for you, Ray? What do you love about it? Everything.
I just love the sense of community that I feel on Pride. Walking through Belfast as a gay man, I always feel a bit self-conscious of the way that I walk, maybe the way I speak to people. But on Pride Day, there's just the whole the vibe of everyone. It's electric almost. You never have to worry about how you look or what way you're walking, or I can't cross my legs in the bus because someone might gay bash me.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. I remember being anytime I go to Pride, I don't normally feel like this anymore, because I've walked through town in full drag, but I remember even have a pride flag wrapped around me and walking through town, and you see people looking at you and they're probably what is going on? Why is that we queer running about with a flag? But I kind of love that now. I kind of love when people look, because it just kind of reminds them that we're still here. We haven't disappeared. You might not have seen us in a couple of weeks. You might have not seen a gay person, but we're still here, and I just love it.
We're here, we're queer, get used to it, basically.
Yeah, basically. And I just love the whole day, because it's not just if something happens, if there's an event, it's usually at nighttime. In the gay community or the LGBT community, it's usually at night time. It's usually nightclub related, and yes, Pride normally ends with that, but it's a whole day thing. It's a massive day out. Like, you get up early, you're doing your makeup, you get up and then you're heading out for like noons to be there for the parade, and then you're maybe at Custom House for the big party in the square, and then after that you move on to the bars and you get pished, and it's amazing. Like, I just love that whole like day out thing. And yes, you're only going to Belfast. Like, we both live outside Belfast. Unfortunately. But it's just that whole thing of like, you're going to Belfast, and yes, it's only Belfast, but it's that whole like, it's gay Belfast today. It's not ordinary Belfast. There's queers everywhere. There's like gays, lesbians, transgender people, bisexuals, pansexuals. Everybody's out in full force, and there's rainbows everywhere. I just fucking love a rainbow. I know it's so typical, but I love a rainbow. I think that speaks volumes from my last performance, because I had one but not two flags on the stage.
I thought you were going to say not one but two fags on the stage. I was like,
Did you see that video?
I could only see one.
Did you see that video?
What video?
It's the video of the news anchor, and she's like, get your pride fags flags.
That pure just reminds me of that wee video of Trixie and Katya where they're like, have you heard about, like, what is it? Pride washing at Pride, and they both look at each other and go, "Hi, gay."
I love that.
Literally my favourite thing ever.
We've already spoke about the things that have happened in the Belfast scene recently, but I think we should like have a wee small discussion just like about each of the things, because they're not the nicest of things and they should not be happening. But the first one we want to talk about is Anya Bex and Jolene Bunton. Like, I completely stand by people having a view. I having a different opinion, a different opinion than yours very much allows conversation to happen and educate people on different things. But whenever it is like being hateful, it's not even being hateful, it's above hateful. It's shaming people, it's making people feel small. It's like people like that really put like a downer towards people and like really like affect people's mental health, and that's like part of the reason why this community is so damaged. People like that, it's horrible.
See, this is where I have an issue with it. If anyone knows Anya, they know that Anya is one of the kindest, most loveliest drag queens that anyone has ever worked with. I know for me, she's one of the nicest people I know. I honestly love Anya to pieces. She's given me and Billie so many like opportunities in Belfast, and even getting Billie to do this runway that she won, and now Billie's going to be performing on the main stage at Belfast Pride in the party in the square. Like, I can't think of a single other person that would give that kind of opportunity to someone as new to drag as us.
Yeah, like that is a really big point to make, because like, for background, Anya is doing a runway for a few weeks in her open stage on a Thursday night, and Thursday past was the first week of the runways, and I came first with Richard. If you want to follow Richard, it's richard.joke on Instagram, and we both came first, which means we're going to be part of the group number on Belfast Pride's main stage at Custom House Square, Party in the Square, and that is a big deal, because I remember being like 15 on my first Pride and being at Party in the Square and being like, I want to be up there one day. I can remember thinking that to myself, and it's happening this year, 7 years later. But like, that speaks volumes about Anya herself. Like, she is just incredible, and for someone to run her down when she doesn't even know her, you don't know what that person is going through.
She wasn't even wearing a thong.
No, this is what I said.
Yeah.
She is more covered up than any woman standing there. Like, she is wearing probably about 7 pairs of tights. She's probably wearing a pair of pants below that to tuck. She's wearing the leotard. There are so many layers there. She is not wearing a thong.
I know.
But it was a leotard. It was not a thong. It was it was fully like, it was one piece.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just a wee piece of cheese string.
Do not understand these people. I mean, she was probably fucking performing her fucking share mix or something. Like, how do these people like listen to that, see that, and think the old woman's trying to fucking touch my kids? Like, I just do not understand what goes through people's heads.
The other thing she posted on, or was it she said? I'm trying to remember what was exactly said, but it was basically calling Was it the comment you showed me? It was the comment you showed me that drag queens are pedophiles.
Put them in a mental hospital.
I have never like touched a child. I never look at a child that way. And I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else because I'm not in their head. I don't know what people do. But like, that is not me as a person. I'm an entertainer and I get paid at times to entertain crowds. Yes, drag is mostly in a bar. It's just where children don't be. But drag starts as a child.
Yeah.
Like, you're a young child and you see it on TV. Like, even like the likes, I remember being a child, Dame Edna and then May McFetridge.
Yeah.
Like, you're at the pantomime.
See,
I bet you she took her kids to the pantomime.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you imagine fucking Jolene Button putting a post up about fucking May McFetridge and being like, that fucking pedo's on the stage in the Grand Opera House?
Like, literally calling people pedophiles is not on, because there are far worse people out there who probably are pedophiles that are still running our streets and aren't getting the spotlight on them for actually being the one that is a paedophile, because we're not paedophiles.
Yeah,
we're
just
human beings. I work in the NHS. Do you think if I was a fucking paedophile I would be allowed to work in the hospital?
I know. Like, just because we like to wear a wee bra and panties doesn't mean we'll go around touching kids. Like,
I bet you Jolene has dirtier fongs than Anya. Did you nearly choke on that Fanta there?
I love.
The other thing I want to talk about is I don't know how to talk about it, because it's one of those things that are very much
Babe, I'm just gonna open this wee door here.
you're gonna have a wee smoke. I told you. The other thing is about, I'm just gonna say his first name. We're not gonna fully name drop him, but this guy was cool.
See, to be fair though, see, when I've heard other people talking about him, or when I've been speaking to him, or when you've been speaking to him, he's given us about 70 different fucking names. Or even that wee post that we seen that was on the BBC News.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a completely different name there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll have one too. Don't tell my mum.
Don't tell my dad we're smoking in the shed either.
But this happened. It'll all be off my Instagram now. But basically, Ray was approached by this man called Ray, and he basically said he worked in this bar, and I'm not going to say which town, and
Wanted us to come and
work there,
work for it,
basically.
basically.
So Ray ended up having to go on the stage because she was performing with Anya that night, and it ended up, the way the conversation went, it ended up that I ended up being the host, and I was to arrange to have other drag queens there. So I had arranged for Ray here, and I had arranged for Serotonin, and there was plenty of others that were willing to do it, and he was offering like decent enough money.
Yeah.
Like, it was above what most bars pay to come and do a show.
I mean, for us being like relatively new on the scene, well, not like new, but like for me, never having a paid gig, you only having a couple, the opportunity to do a weekly paid gig was really exciting for me.
Yeah, it was exciting for me too, and it is a letdown in a sense, but also imagine we had went there. Like, so basically, the long story about this is, the short story about it is that he was not real, and he ended up going behind my back and arranging for other queens and basically slandering me and Ray. And then whenever I was messaging him, he was slandering the other queens that he was trying to arrange. And then he said that he would make Grindr accounts to share and lie that certain queens were spreading HIV throughout the gay community. And then he was slandering me, blah, 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 blah. So there's a whole long story about it. But the reason I want to speak about it is because it's Pride Month, and you still have to watch your own back, even within your own community. Like, our community is meant to be so full of love and so together, but yet the people in it, some of the people in it, not a lot, probably like 1% of the people in it, don't think like us and want to take advantage of their own community. Like, we've been through fucking enough. Like, let us be.
I know.
And let us live, and don't lie, and don't, like, I honestly can't imagine if me and you had went there to do a show, what could have happened.
We literally could have been murdered.
We could have been murdered, or we would have just turned up and there'd be nobody there. We would walk in and they'd be like, why are you here? Like, that's the way it would have been.
Our fucking obituary would have been in the newspaper beside Anya's 2-page spread.
Oh my god.
But I guess the moral of the story is, like, be safe.
Yeah,
on
like
Pride.
this man to me was very, and you, whenever we met him in person, and to add again, he was messaging basically every drag queen king. He was messaging everybody on the scene about asking them to do this. But moral,
Honestly, though, I just really think that the messages he was sending you was such a big red flag, because he was sending like really inappropriate things, like nothing you would ever expect from like what is essentially our boss.
yeah, he was meant to be a manager, but he was actually a customer. Because the place, we contacted them, and they told us he was a customer. The other point is, when we were talking to him in person, everything was normal, everything was fine, very serious, very professional.
I did think though he was a wee bit touched when I was speaking to him though, which is why I was kind of like so keen to like get away and be like, you know, I have to stand backstage, because if I don't and Anya calls me to perform, she'll go mad.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, here's Billy, speak to Billy about it.
Yeah, but I spoke to him for well over an hour. I missed I seen the first part of the show, I missed the second and the third, and I seen the finale, and I spoke to him for that long, and there was breaks in between that, and it was very much serious and professional, and I really thought it was genuine. Always do your groundwork and don't jump into anything, and don't go by yourself. See if you are asked to do something, even if it's a private paid gig, take people with you. Like, whether it's another drag queen or a member of your family, don't go alone, and always make sure you're going to be safe, because the last thing you want is to go somewhere and be in full drag and end up being a victim of something. That is not what you want.
Okay, so now on to a bit of positivity.
Oh yes.
Do you have any like funny stories based around like Pride or anything that has ever happened to you? Or
I have been to every Belfast Pride from 2015, because I've got two. So the first Pride I went to in 2015.
Yeah.
At this point, I was not out. And
not out. Was that not the year you went around with them fucking disgusting fucking...
No, that was a different year.
Feather eyelashes.
That was 2017 or 2018 before I started drag. It was just like boy glam.
Honestly, see if I had seen you that day, I would have went up to you and ripped them off your face, because I had the most disgusting things. Honestly, anyone who wears them, prison.
Prison.
Dead ass.
Prison, honey. No, it was my first ever Pride, and I wasn't out at this point. My friend Megan, and it was her birthday. I think it was I feel like Belfast Pride this day was the 2nd of August, and that was Megan's birthday.
Yeah.
And I asked my mum at a family friend's barbecue if I could go, and my mum was like, no, and my mum's friend was like, oh, just let him go and all this. So I basically had it in my head my mum wasn't going to let me go. It was all new to my mum at this point, and she's a big supporter now. I love it. But I then was speaking to Megan, and Megan was going to arrange for me to go with her, and what we told my mum was, oh, I'm going out with Megan for her birthday. So we went to Belfast Pride.
Yeah.
Best day of my life, first day of my ever Pride, and I can remember walking around and being like, what we were talking about earlier, like the atmosphere, the kind of like vibes, like, oh, this is bad, but it's so good at the same time. Like, you were like, oh, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, especially because I went against mum's advice. And she knows this now, I think, but she'll probably have forgotten. But yes, mum, if you're listening, I did go against your advice at 15 and go to Belfast Pride on Megan's birthday. But the other one is, and you know exactly what I'm about to talk about, is last year. we were with Corey and Scott. And everybody was in drag, and we were having a gay old time in Maverick, and we were sitting, and did I have 1 or 2 bottles of wine?
I mean, from what I remember and how drunk you were, I would say about 7.
But it definitely wasn't. But we were in full drag. Anya made both ours, didn't she?
Yeah, Anya made both our outfits.
Anya made our Pride outfits. We were both beautiful. Everybody was there. And me, Scott, and Corey and Ray were sitting at the table, and we ended up drinking wine. And I was steaming. I remember standing outside with Blue Hydrangea getting a picture, and I couldn't fucking see. And I just remember going to Blue, you named me. And Blue was like, oh yeah, so I did.
That was the day that we got the glider home in full drag. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Do you know this is what I'm getting to? So whenever I was like, I need to go home. We left Maverick and we walked around the back Union Street and we didn't know where Corey and Scott had gone. Do you remember seeing Scott sitting on the ground? We were like, are you okay? And he was like, no. So we then left and we walked we had no way home. It was Pride Day. There was no taxis.
I don't think there was no way home because my boyfriend had offered us a lift, but he thought we were wanting lifted at the end of the night after being in the club, having a good time. So like he wasn't like available to come and pick us up at like, what was it, like 5 o'clock?
It was something really silly. It was so early, and we walked to City Hall, had a photo shoot at City Hall.
Do you remember all those people staring at us? That was so bad.
We were there's pictures on our Instagrams, like standing at City Hall in full drag, me and my sliders. And we then walked across the road from City Hall. Do you know the glider stop is? And it's always packed.
It's like
we walked right through them.
Yeah.
And then we got the glider home. And I remember the wee man that was sitting beside Ray on the glider. And this is an impression of this wee man. He was maybe in his 50s or 60s, probably 60s. He was steaming, and I was standing and Ray was sitting on the seat, and there was a seat between the two of them, and he leans into Ray. You are so beautiful. Will you come back to mine for a party?
He turns to me and he goes, fancy a slice? Because it was Ginny Lemon in disguise.
Fancy a slice? No, that was so good though. Like, even though like we should have been out longer and enjoy having a gay old time.
Yeah. Did we even go out? Because we said we were going to go back out again, but I can't remember if we did or not.
No, we didn't.
No.
Because that's the night Sandy Ho came to your house. We'll not talk about anymore. And what about you? Have you any funny Pride stories? And I know exactly what's coming out of your mouth.
It's so funny. Right. I haven't really got any funny stories about like Belfast Pride, but every year me and my best friend Tiffany Brooks, not Tiffany Von Two Slide House Down Boots. Tiffany Brooks, if you're listening, I love you, babe. We always go to Manchester Pride. If you've never been, it's a completely different experience to Belfast Pride, because in Manchester Pride is 3 days long, and so we would always like book a hotel room for the whole week, do a bit of shopping before the Pride, and then so we were sat in our hotel room one day. I don't think Pride had actually started yet, but the fire alarm started going off, and we were at the top floor, and there was no lift in this building. So, and bear in mind, like, it was like a 10-story building. We were on the very top floor. The fire alarm starts going off, and we were like, what's going on? Do we need to go out? So I went out and sort of like, it was very weird the way the building was set out, because it was like a big hole in the middle, so you could go over to the balcony and look right down to the bottom floor, and there was the stairs like went or like around that. So we went out and looked over it, and there were crowds of people were like flowing out of this building, going down the stairs. So we were like, fuck's sake, we'll have to go out. So we were dressing all anyway, because we were like getting ready to go out, because it was like 5 o'clock, I want to say. We were going to go to like a wee bar for drinks, and so we were standing outside for, it must have been like 20 minutes, and this guy comes over to me and goes, can I have your jacket? And of course I was like, no, it's new. It's my jacket. And he was like, no, there's a girl over here. She was in the shower when she was in a cat outside.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. He was like, no, like she was in the shower when the fire alarm went off, so she's literally over here in a towel. And I was like, fuck, right, bring her over to me, because I wasn't just going to hand this random man my jacket and see him run down the street with it. Like, do you know what I mean? And so I went over to her, and this girl, she was sat on the stairs of the hotel, because there was steps to go up into the hotel, and she was like crouched over with the towel around her, and I was like, here babe, take my jacket, like it's freezing out here. And she was so drunk, she went to so she had like the towel, do you know like women wear towels where they have it like around their chest?
Yeah.
She was sitting like that, so I put my jacket over her shoulders and was like, so what's your name? And she was like, oh, my name's, I can't even remember her name, we'll call her Becky.
Okay.
We'll call her Becky. So she was like, oh, my name's Becky, and she was like, she was being really racist. Like, she started looking so like terrified, and I don't even know if we can put this in, but she turned to me and she was like, why is there so many black men around me? I'm really scared. And I was like, babe, you can't say that. Like, that's not something that you say. Like, it's just not nice. And so she had her moment and was talking and whatever. And then it finally came time for us to go back inside. Like, there was the issue was like there was a fire in the kitchen of the hotel or something. I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention. And this girl stands up, leaves go of her towel, and it drops to the ground. And this girl is butt ass naked, fanny out, pierced nipples out, everything on show. So I was like, fuck. So I lifted the towel and wrapped it back around her. And she goes to, like, there must have been about 10 steps up to this hotel. She fell, towel came off her again. So at this point, the security guard, like, came over to, like, help her get up. And so we went over to the lift. The lift is really shit. This is why I said that there was no lift in this hotel, because we just didn't use it, because it takes like half an hour to come. There was a big crowd of people standing around it, and the security guard was like, can we go first? As you can see. And everyone was like, yeah, of course, go ahead. So we all got on the lift, went to her floor, and he turns to me and goes, so were you friends with her? And I was like, no, I just give her my jacket. It was still around her shoulders at this point. I just give her my jacket because she was in a towel. And he was like, oh, well, okay, well, I'm going to give it back to you, because, like, for security reasons, I think it makes sense for you not to know which hotel room she's in, which I respect.
Yeah.
I get why he wouldn't want me knowing that. And so he brought her over to like a wee concave sort of bit in the hallway, so where it was like when she stood in it, nobody could see her.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, babe, this one's like, man was nice enough to give you his jacket to keep you warm outside, but he needs it back now. And this girl literally shrugged her shoulders, threw the jacket on the floor, dropped the towel, was literally standing naked in this corridor, in this hallway, in this hotel. And he was like, he lifted the jacket, I was like, here you go, mate. And I was like, thanks. I just walked off, never seen her again in my life.
That is unbelievable, though. Like, it's... I don't know what I would do. I think my jaw would hit the dirt.
I was so embarrassed for her, though.
Yeah, like,
so many people were staring at her.
It's funny, but it is, like, the other side of it is she was drunk, so, like, it is a horrible thing, because she would probably be mortified if she was sober. But I mean, it is a story to tell. Like.
Yeah, I mean, the next day, I went out for a smoke in the morning, and there was this guy outside, and he asked me like how long I was here for and things like that, because his friends had to go home early. And we were talking for a while, and I actually had found out that it was his friend that was, I mean, I wouldn't say causing a scene, but like,
she was causing a scene.
Yeah.
She was.
I said to her, like, can you, like, please give her my, not thanks, but, like, say to her I'm glad she's safe, because it was a very scary moment for me, because God knows if that man hadn't come and got me, or if that man hadn't been with her, God knows who might have come up to her and, like, took
advantage of her. Yeah. Oh, I dread the thing. We have both had some weird pride stories.
Oh, we really have.
What would be your favourite pride song, or like just general gay anthem?
I mean, I am a bit of a Gaga stan. You can't go wrong with a bit of Gaga.
I know. See
you doing Born This Way on Thursday last week when you won that competition. I was fucking finger waving and everything, clicking and everything. It was so good. Like I said to, who was I with? Fuck, who was it? I can't remember.
Crickets.
Whoever it was, I turned to them and I was like, that is the best she's ever performed.
Oh, that button blushing. No, I have to say though, like that probably is one of my favourite Pride songs, and it's very, very stereotypical, but it goes to show it's one of those songs, it's that old. It's not that old, but it's not from this decade, it's not this year's song, but it's still like charts every year.
It's like a Pride staple.
It's very much a staple. That would be my favourite Pride song. That has to be. And like, even see, after performing it last week, it's saved, but I've deleted it and added it back to my Spotify, so it's the top of my recently added, and I'm listening to it on repeat again. I love it.
Do you know what my favourite like kind of Pride song is?
Cupcake. I'm rolling with the LGBT. I love that song too.
I want to perform that, but
I think there's certain words in it I might not be able to.
Yeah, but my favourite Pride song, I Am What I Am.
Oh yeah.
I remember listening to this song because in my parents' car they have like a Bluetooth. And I remember, I think I was like 14 at the time, I put this song on Bluetooth and it made me really emotional because I don't think it came out yet.
Yeah.
And like Jen was like the fuck you doing, Dave? What are you crying for? And I wanted to be like, okay, mummy, but no.
No. The other one that I love is it Andra Day? Proud. What have you done today to make you feel proud?
It's not Heather Small.
It's Heather Small. Andra Day. No, she sings Rise Up.
Do you know how I know that? Because of Miranda, Stevie, every 2 seconds. What have you done today to make you feel proud?
What else are we going to discuss here?
What did you do with the lighter, babe?
It's in my hand. What Northern Irish person within the LGBTQ plus community inspire you the most?
Bar best.
Bar best. Well, in that case, mine's Julian Simmons.
No, honestly, Anya. Anya inspires me the most.
Yeah, Anya is very much up there. Everybody inspires me though. Like, the question is who inspires you the most, but like generally, like everybody.
Yeah.
Like everybody in different ways. Some people more than others.
Yeah.
Some people inspire you in different ways, but
especially in our like wee community of drag queens, I would definitely have to say that there's nowhere else in the world has drag like Belfast has drag.
yeah,
Like, I am so like humbled and unbelievably proud of our community and the things that we have done, the things we've accomplished, between like Storm being on Ireland's Got Talent, Robin Diamonds being on Ireland's Got Talent.
yeah. Carl Cunninlingus being on Last Singer Standing.
Yeah.
What else has there been? There's just so many. Like even like still having older drag queens like Titty.
Yeah.
Like having people and Glitzy and like having all them about. Like it's just such a like even like Paletta Stiletta having the Belfast Ma.
Yeah.
And doing and Tina Legs Tantrum. Oh my god, there's so many. Like now that I'm talking about them, like I could just keep going and going and going.
Even fucking Blue.
Blue Hydrangea.
Yeah.
Blue Hydrangea is one. I love Blue. And it's very like people are like I have heard it before and it's nothing against Blue, but people say like, oh, it's only because she's the only drag race queen from Belfast. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's like I've met her before. I met her at Pride. I actually have a picture with her.
Yeah.
At Pride one year, and this was like a couple of years before Drag Race, and like it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and she was one of the ones that suggested me a load of names. One was I can't remember what
Florrie
it was.
Baps.
Florrie Baps was that's what it was, and Queen Billie. So Queen Billie is what I picked. So shout out to Blue for helping me name myself. But yeah, there's just so many. I would say mine's it probably has to be Anya, because even from day dot, like she invited me up to her house with Wicked and Wicked White and stuff, and like she's always been like there in the background since I started drag. I really love Anya. Really love her.
Yeah, we honestly, the two of us, I'm sure you can agree with me, the two of us would not be where we are today without Anya.
Absolutely.
So if you ever get the chance, give Anya Bex a wee follow at Mistress Anya Bex, and I promise you she won't try and sell you any Bitcoin this time.
No, I actually just, there's so many people. And it scares me how quick though, like the drag scene has grown.
Yeah.
Like from whenever I done my first performance in October, and how many more queens and kings
like
there are
I
now.
remember when I first came out in drag for the first time, and I was the newest queen on the scene. I think I was the newest queen for literally like a year and a half before any new queens like started coming on. But see, since you started, there's been one every fucking week.
Yeah, there's more and more and more and more. Like I know, like from my Instagram, someone follows me, I immediately now check and see where they're from. Like this, like, because I'm like, is this another Belfast queen? Like, is there another one?
Do you know what
and
I
it's
would
just
love?
like a wee fun thing I do.
I would love to see another drag queen coming out from down our direction, you know?
Well, this is what I was saying. So I made a comment earlier in the day before I came to see you, and I said that I think I am the only drag queen that lives in the Lower Ards now, and then I remember that you moved back home.
Don't fucking talk to me about moving back home, because honestly, the fact that I've moved back home honestly makes me want to go and fierce injection myself down a set of stairs.
But
love you, fierce.
love you, fierce. But yeah, I think that I am aware of. I know Titty's from down this direction. I know nobody else that's living down here though. Most of them are like like Bangor onwards, like
Yeah.
they're all in other areas, and there's a few in certain areas. Belfast is the main host, like, but no, like I think we are the only ones down here. So if you move away again, I'm going to be the only one. And no,
I know.
no, it's quite big. Do you know what is also very like proud to be gay in Belfast is the fact that like the whole scene in general has how far it's come, especially since the Troubles. Like, it's not that long ago that all that happened.
Yeah.
And look how different the place is. Yes, it's still there in the background. It's very much in the back of everybody's minds. But it's like the whole country in general is just like, come on, so much.
Do you
And
know
it's
what,
great.
though? See, before I started doing drag and I had met all of these like amazing people and things like that, if you had have asked me if I had been proud of being from Belfast, I would have said no.
Yeah.
But now that I know all these amazing people that inspire me every single day, I am proud to be from Northern Ireland.
Yeah. I remember I'm the type of person, I've always been proud of where I've come from. I've had times where I've thought to myself, I don't really fit in and all that. Everybody gets that at times, but like, it's now, like, I would never move. I don't want to leave Northern Ireland.
See, before all this, like I had said from I was no age that I wanted to move away. I wanted to move to England. I wanted to move to America and all this. But now that I have met these people, I don't want to anymore. Like, I want to stay in Northern Ireland now. Like, I honestly wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, I love it. I really like being here. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. In closing, I just want to say, like, everybody have a lovely Pride Month and be safe. And, you know, like, we're always here. Drag queens are always about. If you need someone to talk to you about drag or anything, like, there's always people about, and most people are willing to listen. And if you see it at Pride this year, come up to us, say hello, get a picture. We absolutely love that. Like,
the attention
is all good. Any attention is good attention. But yeah, come up to us at Pride, say hello, get a wee cheeky picture, have a blast. That's the main thing. And show your pride love. Anything you want to say, bitch?
I'd like to kiss you, but I just washed my hair. Bye.
Bye.